Do something with me for a second. Think of a coworker you don't really like. I always assume it's Glenn from accounting because, man, what an... Now replace Glenn with your cat. How much better is your workday with your cat? So much better. It's just so much better. Working from home comes with amazing feline colleagues, but sometimes these colleagues can create trouble. So let's talk about how to deal with some of the common unwanted behavior concerns that people who work from home have with their cats. Even if you aren't working from home, you could use this for puzzles or crafting or other things that you probably don't want your cat interrupting you doing. Let's start with one of the biggest problems people have. Keyboard cats, and cats sending emails, as my cats have a tendency to do. Fun aside, in my other job, I'm a psychiatric physician assistant, so I have prescriptive authority. I was sending a prescription for someone, and my last cat, Zoloft, came and wandered across my keyboard and tried sending a prescription for hydroxyzine. Cats often want to be near us, and we accidentally train them to walk across our keyboards by giving them attention, including yelling or other bad attention. Another common reason cats will jump on your desk is that they want to climb up to a high place due to cats' natural love of climbing. Lastly, they might like the warmth of your laptop. So, how do you stop your cat from accidentally sending an email telling your boss that they're a festering worm who smells like a pile of poop? Made love to a rotting fish. Sure, blame your cat for sending that email. They totally pressed those keys in that exact order, yeah. First, make sure your cat gets plenty of play and attention before your workday begins. Be consistent in primarily giving them attention during this time. You can choose to give them affection or attention if you're fine with your cat being in your office. Only do so when they're lounging somewhere that you're okay with them being. Cats being cats, they'll probably get bored, so what do? You can try food puzzles, or you can put on cat TV in order to keep them busy. If that's still not working, because cats do prefer toys that move, let me teach you a trick that I use. So for ease of demonstration, I'm going to use this toy, though this isn't exactly the one that I'm talking about, but you can see the end part of it a little bit better on camera rather than the actual toy. You're gonna need a wire toy, like the greatest cat toy of all time, the Cat Dancer, who is not sponsoring this video, but I am open. Anyway, sit in your office chair and take the toy and put one end of it under your thigh. Oh man, this is more chaotic than I thought. So put one end under your thigh. Make sure that the wire is going over the armrest. I am not showing you my thigh right now. You are welcome, or I'm sorry, as the case may be. Because the wire will bounce on its own when you give it a little jiggle, you can shake that booty a bit when your cat gets antsy. They'll end up playing with the toy on their own because as it's bouncing around, it just starts going and it's gonna be really exciting for them. Again, if you need to get it going, just give them a little wiggle. Am I suggesting that people twerk for their cat? We're officially christening this technique twerking for your cat. Basically what this does is it turns it into a self-playing toy for your cat. And I'm now going to remove this from under me because, ow. These aren't gonna take care of your cat's need to climb. So you should still try and address that. That may involve rearranging your desk space or your room, but the simplest solution is adding a cat tree or cat shelves nearby. You may recognize this strategy in the background of some of my guests in other videos. Thin cat trees can work in narrow spaces, but the key is making it taller than your desk. If that isn't an option, or oh, hello, Poutine. Hello, Poutine. Poutine, do you want to say hi to everyone? You can't see this, but he's staring. Oh, you can see his cute little ear. I'm gonna keep going, Poutine, but you're welcome to come join us at any point in time. Thin cat trees can work in narrow spaces, but the key is making it taller than your desk. If that isn't an option, or you have a really small space, let me share one of my favorite tools. Full disclosure that I earn a commission if you purchase using these links in the description of the video. Let's start with my favorite, and the favorite of my dudes. That's the desk nest. Now, those of you that have watched some of my other videos back when I was at my old place may recognize these as the spots that the dudes were lounging in, and they would supervise my video production. So my cats are not usually on my screen with my current setup because my desk nests are off to the side. They float above the desk and are secured via a clamp, so your desk remains functional. I cannot emphasize enough how well these work. I often wake up and find both cats sleeping in theirs. Big fans. If you don't mind giving your cat space on your desk, you can also get a fake laptop, which Poutine conveniently is sitting on right now. This gives them their own space to do the important work of napping. I did a full experiment using these on my blog a few years ago that I'll link to below because it was actually kind of fun to make. And it did actually work despite being a kind of trendy sounding, almost a bit too easy TikTok trick. Plus, they're also really cute. Now, alternatively, you could consider a cat office chair. Think a lounge chair that goes right next to your office chair with a ramp so even older pets can get on them. And they also work for dogs too. They're portable and cozy and can be used to help your cat get on the couch as they approach their senior years. They're really cool and I have them on my wish list, but I haven't splurged on it yet. So maybe for my birthday. Actually, if anyone wants to, my birthday is coming up. If your cat still wanders across your desk, an acrylic keyboard shield works really well. Here's a behind the scene looks at the Classic Cat setup. These are nice because they cover the keyboard and your hands can still fit under them. You can still type as your cat walks across it or naps on it. Also, secret I'm gonna let you in on. Come closer, come closer, closer. Okay, good. These are basically just monitor stands. Well, not all monitor stands will work for this purpose. You can probably just use one of them instead if you find one that you like, even if it's not labeled as being a cat keyboard protector. Of course, not all cats are going to wander across your keyboard, but they may still be disruptive to your work. Because I run a high-budget production filled with professional editing and Hollywood-level talent, you may notice from time to time that Poutine contributes his thoughts to my videos. Now, I'm not talking the couple of times that he's kind of shown up on camera already now. I'm talking him screaming. He occasionally will be heard in the background. If your cat is doing the same thing and you care more than I do, Poutine and Prozac really run things around here. An easy strategy is keeping them out of the room. Or I should say that would be easy if cats didn't have a reputation for just hating, despising closed doors. You can help your cat get used to being in the other room by making their time being separated predictable so they know when they'll be in the other room and won't be allowed in the office, making the rest of your home more appealing by leaving out fun things for them to do, or gradually desensitizing them to having the door closed. If you can't keep them out, or let's be honest, if you don't want to because having cats as coworkers is kind of delightful, there's nothing like having a purring cat in your lap while you're working. You can use similar strategies that I discussed before to keep them busy. Food puzzles, passive play, attention ahead of time. Conveniently, these will help with keeping your cat from bothering you as you're trying to close that important client deal. Though, honestly, I think your cat would actually help you close that deal. I also work with cats professionally, so... Now, this doesn't mean ignore your cat all day, but rather build in breaks and times where you can pay attention to them. To help them understand when this is and reduce a misinterpretation, don't go right from working to feeding your cat or playing with them. Make there be a consistent signal or something that you do first that lets your cat know that, okay, we can play. As an example of this, you leaving the room and opening a drawer with a toy in it might become that signal. For feeding, this one is actually going to sound counterintuitive. Cats don't like eating larger meals in what I like to call a bookend style of feeding. Once at the beginning, once at the end of the day. Cats prefer multiple smaller meals during the day. As strange as it sounds, to plan to feed your cat more frequently, it will actually reduce them pestering you for food at the end of the day because they'll be more consistently full. Incorporate one meal into a midday break, making sure it's not the first thing you do after you leave the room or after you get done working, and one a bit later in the day after you finish work. Worst case scenario, robots.
Let's rock.
Sometimes robots are actually really helpful. Auto feeders make this easy and remove you from the equation. I use auto feeders to help prevent myself from getting woken up first thing in the morning by somebody, Poutine, but I still feed my cats manually for other meals. So you don't have to do every single meal with an auto feeder. There are options of auto feeders that work with both wet and dry food. Regardless of what kind of diet your cat is on, they can use an automatic feeder. Speaking of feeding, food puzzles. That deserves its own deep dive in a separate video, but very briefly. They're feeding devices or setups that require the cat to complete a task to get a snack. They mimic hunting or foraging that cats would do in nature, and by default, they slow the cat down so they can keep them occupied for a while. There are a huge variety out there, so if you've tried one before and your cat just hasn't been thrilled about it, you might want to try something different. You may have also been too enthusiastic about the food puzzle, as we often tend to be as humans, and made it too challenging for your cat. Start with something easy that your cat really loves to eat, like a really tasty snack, and slowly increase the challenge, along with switching it over from treats to their regular food gradually. If you need to give them something else to do, consider putting on a video. Videos of squirrels or birds birds or just videos with lots of moving things can keep a cat occupied. Now, videos do have some issues with them where some cats can become frustrated and redirect their aggression to you, so be cautious. And make sure that your cat does get a few play sessions in with an actual toy later in the day. But for many cats, this is a great strategy to keep them busy and happy. My own cats have a natural cat video that happens when birds perch right outside one of our windows in a tree. If you don't happen to have trees nearby, consider a bird feeder. This is basically the equivalent of taking your cat to a live filming of a TV show. Though cats are definitely fantasizing about eating the talent, which I really hope that you are not doing when you go to the theater. That seems kinda not healthy. That's the phrase I'm gonna use. That's not healthy. Lastly, what do you do if your cat is doing something you don't want them to do while you're working? It might be tempting to yell or reach for that spray bottle, but put that spray bottle away. Actually, put your spray bottle in the trash where it belongs. Paying attention to your cats is going to encourage the behavior. Your cat will be more likely to repeat the behavior when they want you to pay attention to them or they're bored. You're better off not acknowledging them or giving them something to distract them. Distracting them likely means meeting the underlying reason for the behavior if your cat is bored, so it's a much better solution than trying to just repress the behavior. That doesn't turn out well. Your cat will spend less time trying to get your attention. It's still better to try and cut them off by meeting whatever needed is ahead of time, but distraction is a fantastic interruption technique. Oh man, my lunch break is almost over. I better get back to my full-time job of an on-demand treat vending machine for my two goofuses. And honestly, you probably want to get back to work or you may not have a job much longer. Your cats have expensive tastes, so I'd hurry back if I were you. Gotta keep that catnip going.